We will now entertain nominations for the position of President of the Board of Education for the coming school term. Mr. Tunstall.
Members of the board, Dr. Estes, I'd like to make a nomination, but I'd like the privilege of prefacing my nomination by just a couple of brief remarks. That at first may not seem to have anything to do with this nomination, but I believe you'll see the point. I personally have considered resigning from the board in a few months due to very probable heart surgery, which may be necessary. But after I endorsed the two incumbents that have just left the board, they were defeated. I lost a few friends, I gained a few, so that's kind of a standoff. But I received a letter from a CGS constituent, and it's ironical because both Mrs. Bromberg and Dr. Foster were endorsed by CGS when they ran. Mrs. Bromberg ran twice for their endorsement. Dr. Foster ran his first and only time for their endorsement. So it's ironical that this letter or these opinions would be prevalent. This letter stated, you're a traitor, you're a Benedict Arnold, that if you had any character or honesty, you'd resign from the board. So despite my decision to resign due to health reasons, if it came about, I wouldn't resign now if rigor mortis set in. Now those of you, there are a few here that I know who wrote this letter. I know he meant it because he signed it sincerely. Now the only reason I'm bringing it up because my nomination, which will be no surprise to anybody, may be construed as an appeasement measure toward this person that wrote the letter. This is not an appeasement measure because I had discussed this nomination with this gentleman long before I received this letter. I think that should clarify my nomination. I would like to nominate James Jennings for the president of the school board.
All right, Mr. James Jennings has been nominated. Are there other nominations for president of the school board? Yes, sir.
First, Harry, I thank you very much for the endorsement, for the confidence. And while I have great respect for you, I think from time to time we disagree, and this is one time I disagree with you a little bit, Harry, and I was really going to disagree with you. I disagree with you for your choice of president. But I personally feel, I'm very sincere about this, that I do not have the maturity as a board member or the education as a board member that I would like to have before I step into a job with such great responsibility. So with nothing personal involved at all, I hope that you would accept, and being the man that you are, I know you would graciously accept the fact that I could not accept this office, and would ask that my name be withdrawn as president of the board. And at the same time, I would place a nomination John Plath Green to return to the chair of president.
Do you accept the nominee's rejection?
Dr. Estes, I have no choice but to accept it. I would like to express my regrets, James, that you have changed your mind. That's perfectly right. That's your privilege. After I read the report that you and would possibly take the place of Mr. Smith on the board, I called him up and kidded him about it and said, I see you're getting bumped. And he said, no, I'm not getting bumped. James and I had talked about this some time ago. You said he didn't, but it's a moot point. Not a moot point, a moot point. So that's neither here nor there. How this got out, this coup or movement to replace John on the board, I don't know, and never will know and care less about knowing it. John, you know the reason that I'm opposed you as the president. It's you and I know, and I'm not gonna bring out the reasons here, it's not the point, and I'm sure you don't want me to. So I accept her resignation, or whatever the word should be used.
Thank
All
you.
right. Mr. John Green's name has been placed in nomination. Are there other nominations?
I'd like to nominate trustee Williams.
Mr. Tom Williams has been nominated for president of the board. Are there other nominations? Are there other nominations for president of the Board of Education? Are there other nominations for the president of the Board of Education?
I think we heard you that.
My
What'd you say?
attorneys have advised me that I must say that 3 times. It's by law, unless requested otherwise, that we vote by secret ballot.
Another Williams. Another Williams. Another Williams. Total of 4.
Yeah.
One Green. 2 Green.
Mr. Green, 5 votes. Mr. Williams, 4 votes. I declare that Mr. John Green has been duly elected as president of the Board of Education for the new school term.
Now we have nominations open now for the vice presidency of the board.
Mr. President.
Mr. Smith.
Mr. President, I'd like at this time to nominate Mr. James Jennings for Vice President of the Board.
Mr. James Jennings has been nominated. Is there another nomination?
Mr. President,
Mr. Tunstall.
it seems a little odd to nominate a man for president and not support him for vice president. My support for him was strictly for the presidency, not the vice presidency, so I would like to nominate Tom Williams as vice president.
Tom Williams has been nominated for vice presidency of the board. Are there any other nominations?